I'm ready.
Record button has been pressed. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Who is that guy over there? Wait, right there. Look at him.
You're above me.
Touch my fingers. Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, I don't know how
Well,
to
for
fix
me,
it.
you're over here, so just point to the side and line up fingers.
Okay,
You gotta keep going. Straighten it out.
straighten it out.
Never mind. Welcome back to the
Okay,
Coby and
I
Tanner
see it.
podcast, episode 2. Um, yeah, I don't really know. I wanted to get straight into the conversations this time because we just got done
Okay,
with
just
a.
straight into it.
No, we need to talk a little bit. What did you guys think of the first episode of the podcast? We played some Minecraft, and I can't stop moving my hands because the webcam's like, going
Okay,
crazy. But
yeah, I found it where we're side by side. Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt you.
But our first podcast we played over some Minecraft, which probably wasn't the best for a podcast because you got all those Minecraft sounds like the eating and stuff like that.
Right, but it was still
Funny.
fun. We had a
Oh
good
yeah,
time.
it was great. We plan on actually like doing a Minecraft series that's not a podcast, just like an actual just series. I know we already had one, but like we explained it on my old Xbox that I sold. Even if I did explain that, I don't know. There was a lot of conversation topics last time. Some that
Yeah,
one in specific that probably not a lot of people's happy with me about, but here back for another one. Glad to be here. Hope we sound good. Hope we look good. I mean, I know I look good, but probably gonna be a little harder for this guy. But this is the first time we're seeing each other like face to face like this, and wow, we're
yeah,
30,
it's been
like 30 or 40 miles away from each other right now. So it's good.
a long time.
It's good to see this, and like I explained it in the last podcast. There's some situations going on right now that unfortunately have to keep us, from the same room and recording. It's nothing regarding COVID or anything like that, but just more personally family issues for me. So, just moving away from the drama, like, what I'm saying? So just,
Yeah, shifting from it
that's
fast.
the best thing to do, when it comes to that. But, Tanner, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you. I've missed it.
Got my,
I've,
my Beppis ready
okay.
to record.
Yeah, I watched. Like I said, I mentioned it last episode, our first podcast episode. That I watch a hockey podcast, or a hotcast is what you called it.
A hockey cast.
And yeah, they get on like a webcam and they just look at each other. And so I was like, that sounds nice, especially since we haven't,
It's nice
we've
to
been
see
away.
your face. You got a really cool background, significantly cooler than mine. And I don't know if you did that on purpose or if that room just looks like that. Did you do that specifically for the podcast, or was that already there?
No, this is always. Let me see if I can like move my laptop, my
Oh,
flags.
that's fancy.
There's my flag over there. So yeah, I've just always had a little desk here in the corner, and that's just where my flags are.
That's super cool. That's super cool. So anyway, I know I said I'm far away and stuff like that right now, but that's not going to stop us from getting content to you guys, of course, because technology is cool as shit. So it enables us to do cool stuff like this. And we just got done recording Doki Doki Literature Club up until the major event and a little bit past it, but not too far. The major event, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil it, but better to go find out for yourself if you don't know, but you probably do because, as I said, the game came out in 2017? Yeah, I think, something like that. Another thing, we have a lot of series, like, just out in the open right now. Like, a lot. Like, just to name a few, the Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Mario Sunshine, Animal Crossing, probably
Which all came within like the first week of our channel.
Mario 64, yeah, and just stuff like that. And you'll notice there's a theme there that's all on the Nintendo Switch, and it would be in this the difficult time I'm going through right now. Just with like the moving away situation and everything. It would probably be best to like work on those series and stuff, right, Kobe? Like duh, but unfortunately, run into a bit more of an issue with the Switch here. When I moved out, I kind of moved out in a little bit of a hurry, so I misplaced one of the Joy-Cons for my Switch. If you don't know what that is, that's the controllers, like the little ones that go on the side of the Switch. And I lost one of them. I thought I had both of them, but I didn't. And I went back and looked for it and everything. I could never find it. So that's how. One second. Sorry, I talked for a really long time. I had to take the Beppis break. But anyway, like I said, I lost that one Joy-Con, but that wasn't really a problem because I had the Pro controller. You guys might have seen me play with. Funny story, a week before I moved out, and you're not going to believe me when I tell you this happened twice, but I dropped that controller a few months ago in Dutch, my dog, his water bowl, because I would always set it right next to me for some reason, or just like under the table that I would set like my remotes and stuff on when I got done playing. And I sat the Pro controller over there, and clumsy ass as I am, I accidentally knocked it off, and it went straight into that water bowl. And that was a few months ago now, and miraculously the controller fixed itself. It was never the same, but it fixed itself to a good working condition. So I was like, hey, that's awesome. And it happened again like a week before I left somehow. I just looked at it and I was like, oh my God, as soon as I pulled it out really fast, and it's completely screwed now. A lot of buttons don't work on it, and I don't really have the tools to... What? Sorry?
You literally poured water out of the controller?
Yeah, I shook it like this, and it was like, just splooging everywhere. Probably not the right word to use for it, but
dang,
that's what was happening. And I think it's dry now, but it's still not working. So for the time being, until I get a new Pro controller, which probably be, I don't know, a couple weeks now. That's a little Tink. Ugh. Till I can get a new Pro controller, probably won't see no Nintendo Switch content, and even then, I still have to figure out how to get it to where Tanner can see it and everything. I'm not very computer smart, and I'm not assuming he is either. I mean, I know you're dumb, Tanner, but I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But
no, you're right.
No, we still got to figure out how to do that and everything. So I'm excited to get back into that though. That's going to be the best thing for us. Getting back into the flow of stuff and
right.
Everything. So Tanner, you got anything you want to say before we get into the deep stuff?
No, let's jump into it. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. We got just a preview, all the Spiderman stuff we get to talk about, which we're not very recent because, we both work full-time jobs. The trailer dropped earlier this week. It's Friday right now. So it's been a couple days, but we're still going to talk about it, still going to discuss. So we have that. And we're going to start with Doki, I think you wanted to, right?
Doki Literature Club. Wow. We started to get into the conversation at the end of the last episode, but is there a way to talk about this without spoiling it? I think there is. I think we can manage.
I mean, or we can just say, stop listening if you haven't, if you don't want to spoil.
We don't want to encourage people to stop listening to the podcast. No,
that's true. Skip 15 minutes ahead.
I'll word it. The event. So
the event.
Did you expect it? I think we talked about this, but I need you to reiterate. But did you expect that to happen? You told me what you expected, and
right.
I never seen that. I seen the event that happened before I seen something like that happening. People are probably so confused that they don't know what the hell we're talking about.
No. I didn't see it happening. Like I said, I mean, like you said, we kind of touched base on it there in the last Doki Doki episode, but I'll just kind of elaborate a little more. I've seen, the entire story up to this point, to me, seemed like there was kind of a jealousy thing going on. It was kind of a race for every girl to get to Beppis, our character, the main character's name. And I seen a fight or maybe an act of jealousy coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, apparently none of that meant anything because it wasn't really any of that. I mean, I guess you could kind of see jealousy with Sayori, and I thought I'd be happy that you're happy, but I'm not because I like you more, you know.
You see,
But I mean, that didn't really have effect on what she did in the end, you know.
yeah, it was weird because hearing you talk about that, it makes so much sense now. But when I first
Right.
experienced all this, like that was not a thought that crossed my the jealousy factor, of course, but that's just because
Yeah.
the way she was acting beforehand. Obviously, she was a little jealous. She made that very clear, and
Mhm.
uh, but I never seen that happening. It was or what you thought was happening. Like I was talking about, it got spoiled for me very heavily because excuse me, it got spoiled for me very heavily. Because like I said, I was just watching some people play it, and they were giving the characters really funny, goofy voices. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll watch this a little bit. Then eventually I was like, all right, nothing's happening. This is boring. Why am I still watching this? And then I go back to the home screen, and like I see the YouTube, like I press the little home button on my phone, and it's just like right there, and I'm like, what the hell? And
It's a thumbnail.
yeah, just a thumbnail, straight up spoiled it for me.
How?
It
How are they
just
gonna do? I mean, that's just a bad thumbnail in general because
yeah.
you just like trigger warnings don't exist, and then that's just there.
I mean, it worked. I mean, because it got me back into it, and I think I watched that video eventually. After I got to the big reveal and everything. But
Right.
it's kind of a D-head thing to do, and but honestly, I think the game had been out for a year at that point, or at least a couple months, so
Mhm.
everybody had already experienced it by that time, and I just wasn't in the loop, I guess.
Yeah.
So my first experience with that part specifically, it messed with me, like because I was like, yo, that's genius, because it's such a good like twist. It just comes out of
Right.
nowhere and it happens so fast. But for us, it didn't happen fast because we recorded it like 3 months in advance. Maybe even longer. And well, not recorded it, but played in between like a couple months in advance. So I think it's better in just one consecutive sitting to just get to the good parts. But as where our channel is right now, the reason I was talking about we have all the series and stuff floating around is because we want to see what gets noticed faster, and what people want to see. We don't just want to do one thing, stick to it. I mean, I would like to, don't get me wrong, like get one thing, stick to it, and finish that out. Like I wanted to do that with Sunshine, but it just kind of never worked out because we wanted to do different things. We got really good Sunshine episodes out, the ones that I absolutely loved. I still laugh at and everything. I still laugh at our first video, like honestly. It is just such a good time. But my original plan was to finish Sunshine outright because games like Animal Crossing, I don't think you can ever really beat Animal Crossing. You just kind of keep playing it, so that would be like maybe like a weekly thing. Um, and Breath of the Wild is a very long game. Well, technically, I mean, technically you can beat Breath of the Wild anytime you want to. You don't really. You can like literally as soon as you wake up, you could run straight to the castle and fight Ganon and beat the game right there
Yeah.
if you're good enough. But I mean, obviously that's for professional players. Um, but that was my original plan, was to finish out some series and stuff like that. But we didn't really stick to it. We wanted to do other stuff, get other stuff out there, see what people want to see,
Yeah.
and that kind of worked honestly because I think our most popular series right now is our reaction weekends. Those always do really good. And then our random Steam games. We've done 2 at this point. Together B&B and The Long Drive. And boy, let me tell you, if you haven't seen those videos, especially The Long Drive, you're in for a treat there if you go watch that. If you don't know what that is, it's a very weird game. We won't get into it. But anyway, I wanted to go back to Doki Doki is just, in my opinion, is just such a stroke of genius. I mean, I think this thing took the internet by storm back in 2017, just like Five Nights at Freddy's did. Another thing, Five Nights at Freddy's came out in 2014, I think, or 13, like late 13, early 14, something like that. That is crazy to me because I didn't think I was that young when that first came out, but I mean that just I respect that series so much because it just completely just changed horror. There's like so many horror games like based on that now. There's like a whole website for FNAF fan games and everything. It's just that amazes me so much. But the thing about FNAF is, you can replicate that and even make like a scarier version of it that's not Five Nights at Freddy's, But
Yeah.
with something like Doki, that's not going to happen because that is a one of a kind. And Tanner's still not even done with it. I've experienced this, way back when, but Tanner, he's just experiencing this for the first time, and he's just barely scratched the surface of it. And we grinded the hell out of that game a few months ago, and I know I really burned him out on it because I was like, man, just one more episode. We're getting close. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We never got to it then, but I mean...
So I have a question.
I have an answer.
So there for a long time, like you just said, I'm kind of glad you said that, how we grinded it for a long time, and you always said something was going to happen. It never did for a long time. So from my eyes, I didn't know it was going to be a horror game, right?
Yeah, see, that's...
So from here on out, is it going to be obviously a more horror game? Or are we just going to go back into a long stretch of what it was?
It honestly,
Or
the
is that
answer
a
to that
spoiler?
question is both. Honestly, it's both. What you just said, that's spot on. Really, there's a big twist at the end that we kind of expected or you can kind of see it coming right before it ends. You can see the twist happening. I wouldn't say it's a twist because it's building up to it. It builds up to it, and I'm not going to say anything else because it's interesting. And you don't seem to have any idea on the way it's going because you don't know what's happening. Like you admitted, like you're like, what is happening right now?
Right.
And that's a good reaction to have because everything clears up in the end, which probably doesn't seem like it can clear up in the end because there's so much chaotic craziness is happening right now, but everything just flattens out, gets nice and explained, excuse me.
So is it just like a one instance, one like moment where you're like, oh, okay. Or does it like start piecing together?
Man, like really both again. Like you slowly piece it together, but then like right there at the end, it's
Final
like
one.
yeah, there's just one big one. You're like, okay, you know what? This is happening, and there's nothing we could do to stop it or change it. And then that ending hits you, and man, I'm not gonna lie to you, that ending, excuse my language, but it fucked me up, man. Like for a significant amount of time, like it wasn't depression. It was just sadness, which I mean, guess depression is anyway, but like, I don't know why I reacted the way I did. It wasn't like a crying sadness. It was just a deep, like, I really can't explain it because I guess it made sense at that time because I was kind of going through a hard time in my life at that point, just more Coby sob stories. I'm not going to get into it, but, and I think that's why it hit me as hard as it did because it was just such a good story. And, to me, the ending of anything is just sad. I can't stand it. Like, regular show, I used to watch that when I was a kid, and I heard that ended, and, like, I never watched the ending or not even caught up on the series or anything. But, like, to hear that it ended is just... that hurts, like
just and the word in itself.
It's terrible. And when I had to move up here, you even texted me. It was like, should we kill the channel? I mean, because it's gonna be, and that saddened me to think of this channel ever ending because I don't plan on it to ever stop doing this. It's a hobby at this point, and it's a good hobby that could very well lead to a career in the near future, and I'll be one of the many people to tell you to chase your dreams. YouTube was never a dream for me. It just it's just kind of happened. Like we told the story in the last podcast, but just never thought about. I mean, I thought about it a few times. Like it'd be cool to do that, but I don't really have it in me to do it myself. But then here comes this dude. Like, we make fun of everything anyway, and laugh and have a good old time doing everything. So why not just record it? And it's going really well. We have like 4 different main channels now.
Yeah. We just like right before this one, we started a channel. I'm gonna try to kind of operate it a little bit, just because I literally do nothing. We're gonna post the full length podcasts on Coby&Tanner and the Coby&Tanner podcast channel. But on the Coby&Tanner podcast channel, we're gonna post a little separate clips.
Your microphone just like really glitched out and it's like made like a high pitched like scream, and it sounded like you voice cracked horrifically. Like I'll show you when this is over. That was weird.
Okay.
Yeah, but we got this channel, our main channel, Coby&Tanner podcast channel, which was just made today. Our individual channels, which is 2 more, and then the Gaming Ghost, which is our ghost hunting / urban exploration channel we haven't done anything with yet. We fully plan to, though, because there's a lot of cool places.
Well, we did.
And
then we couldn't get our videos extracted.
We did, but stupid computer stuff. I'm not computer smart, and we messed everything up. So we plan on giving you guys, good, fresh content, what you guys want to see. Because when we look at like the problem with most YouTubers today, it's overexposure, as Tanner talks about that a lot. And I'm not really worried about that for us, because there's so much different stuff we do on this channel, like whether that be reacting, which
Sorry.
There's new videos on the internet every day, so there's always going to be something different to react to, always different jokes to be made. There's always new games coming out and everything, and I feel like our content really differs nothing, and I'm proud of that. I don't really think anything is ever really the same on our channel, and I like that. I'm proud of how far it's come, and what we've done and the challenges we've overcame and everything. I'm really proud of how far we've come with this. But I wanted to get back to Doki and stuff. I think I've already said enough on that game, but I had a really cool transition to talk about Spiderman, but I forgot it at this point, so let's just dive into that. I don't know why I said I want to go back to Doki. I guess if I said that, it would remind me of that sweet-ass transition to the Spider-Man topic that I had in my head like an hour ago. But
Doki, more like
Spider-Man No Way Home.
So anyways, do you think, that's probably not the time to be experimental and mess with it, but we need to figure out if there's a way we can, like, you can screen share and we can watch the trailer together.
I think we could, but I don't know if my face would still be on there. Definitely could.
But I'm sure everyone who's interested in it has seen it so far.
I guess we could do that in a reaction weekend. If we could figure out how to get all this set up and everything. But
okay. First thoughts when you hear someone talking about the trailer, what comes to your mind?
Tobey Maguire, like straight up, like come on, man. In my mind, there is literally no way, after teasing Green Goblin from Tobey, Doc Ock from Tobey, like there is no, and Sandman, there's no possible way in hell they do not put them in this movie. Like, let us be perfectly honest. Think about the backlash they would be facing if they did. People would be talking, like, even a cameo at the end wouldn't do any justice at all. People will not be happy. At this point, they have to do it. And the thing I had in my mind that I know is they're in the movie, Andrew and Toby. I know that they are because they're not going to put Toby in without putting Andrew in. That's just a damn fact of life right there. But when you hear Doc Ock, say, "Hello, Peter," like,
You think it's Toby?
I know it is.
You know it is? Okay.
Do you hear the familiarity in his voice? He knows who he's talking to in that moment.
He doesn't know who Tom Holland's Peter Parker is.
Exactly, that's what I think. But I mean, if you see anybody in a Spider-Man costume, this is my contradiction. You're gonna be like, "Oh, that's Peter Parker,"
Right.
like. So
or Miles Morales.
So maybe he could be looking at the Spider-Man costume, thinking, "Oh, that's Peter." So here's my familiarity coming in. Hello, Peter. He knows who it is. Like,
oh man, it's chilling. It's chills to think about him coming back.
It has to happen because I'm pretty sure they even talked about continuing the continuity of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man universe a long time ago. They said that they planned on continuing those movies and everything, just as a separate sideline thing.
I think I heard this. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Take it with a grain of salt because I'm not very educated on it. I'm pretty sure they were setting up the Sinister Six with Andrew's films. But, they died out.
They were at the end, right there, if you remember, because at the end of the second one, or the first one, I can't remember, the guy's, walking through the place, and, there's Dr. Octopus's arms over here, in this thing. He's fighting Rhino, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he was part of it, and, I mean, everything. But the thing I wanted to go to is the guy walking through the lab. There's, Doc Ock's arms, and there was other stuff, too. I can't remember. I think there was, the Venom thing. I can't remember. I have no idea. But I haven't seen that movie in a really long time. That movie was Amazing Spider-Man 2. That when I'm sure everybody knows Gwen Stacy dies in that movie. It's old movie at this point. That was horrible. How?
I love Andrew Garfield as an actor. I used to love watching his Amazing Spider-Man movies, but I would watch them, I would watch the first movie in its entirety. I would watch the second movie right up until that scene, and I would turn it off. And I would be like, okay, yeah, I watched the two films, but I wouldn't watch that scene.
How did that happen? How? And that was such a bombshell. It's the same thing with Infinity War. Boom. Every superhero, or half of the superheroes in these movies you watched, years before this, the Spider-Man, we just gave him a whole big series. Everything. Boom. They are dead. They just died at the hands of this big purple sumbitch right here that you met 2 movies ago, just dead. That's where genius comes from. That's where when you drop shit like that and it just happens. Excuse me. And that is just such genius. Those sudden things that just happen that you don't expect, because you watch any superhero movie, you expect the good guys to beat the bad guys every time. That's the superhero movie trope. That's what happens. But when the bad guy wins, that is crazy. But the bad guy didn't win in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I mean, technically, because it ends on a very, 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 very sad note. But
yeah, it does.
Did you ever play those games? The Amazing Spider-Man games?
I used to play them on my phone.
Dude.
The little mobile versions?
Oh my god, no, dude. They're, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I remember staying the night at my sister's house just because they had a Wii U that had the brand new Spider-Man game on it, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't even think I'd seen the movie yet, which I don't think the games or the movies, or the Amazing Spider-Man games and movies, have anything to do with one another. Mm-hmm. But even if they did, that wouldn't take away that those were pretty fun games for their time.
Yeah, just literally just fun to swing around the city.
Oh my goodness, you have no idea, dude. If you haven't played the new Spider-Man for the PlayStations, oh my goodness, they were fantastic. I'd give anything to do a series on that when it came out. But you guys better believe anything new we're jumping on like flies on shit, dude. We did that for Resident Evil and kind of fell off of it, and I'll get to that in a minute. I'd actually really do want to play that game again. Like that's just a problem right now because I unfortunately had to sell my PlayStation. So I thought my situation was gonna be a lot worse than it was, and I kind of reacted in a negative way by doing that, not thinking about the future of the channel and stuff. Just thinking about my well being for the time being. But I mean,
Which is the right thing to do.
Resident Evil, I guess. I mean, I still felt bad for it because I knew that we weren't gonna be able to play Resident Evil again and stuff like that. But you can always buy another one. Like it's money. Don't let money get in the way of your mental health or anything. Like I totally just said happened to me. But anyway, those Spider-Man games, I remember going to my sister's house, to stay the night just because I knew that my nephew, my little 9-year-old nephew, had those on the Wii U. Me, 15, 16-year-old boy. And I was like, hey, I want to hang out with Bentley, but I really just wanted to go play that. And we didn't play when I got there. I'm not that kind of dude to just, go over to somebody's house and start playing their shit. I waited till everybody went to bed like a smart guy. I stayed up all night drinking Mountain Dew and eating string cheeses, because that's the only thing she had there that I'd eat. And this is just such a good, happy memory for me. It's such a good time. And played through that entire game in a night and beat it. And because I think the final boss was like Carnage. It's either Carnage in the second one or Carnage in the first one. I can't remember. No, it's not the first one. Carnage is it was the second one that I played. Stayed up all night eating string cheese and drinking Mountain Dew. Most unhealthy thing ever, but that's something I'll never forget. And I love that I have that memory. I can still, when I'd eat that string cheese, it felt like this was just a feeling I had, because I guess it was I was set up so late. It was just like my head was inflating or something. I don't know what it was. It was weird, but
Yeah. Caffeine, man.
I don't think it's the caffeine, because
I think it was the cheese.
it was definitely the cheese. Because if anybody knows me, they know I'm the pop drinking some bitch ever was, and it don't ever bother me that much.
Okay, so
Yeah, back on
the
track.
Spider-Man, No Way Home. Final thoughts? Anything else? We can move on to something else. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, 100% confirmed. You heard it here first.
150. They have to be. There's no way they can tease literally every villain from the series.
Alright. They're just setting up for it.
They have to be. I just don't see how they don't do it at this point. I think as long as Willem Dafoe is in it, because he is just one of my all-time favorite actors. This is what we're going to transition into next.
Okay.
As long as he's in it, I'm fine. I love him so much. He's just such a cool guy. And based on what I've seen of him, I don't look into rumors and speculation on people or what they do. I've never heard anything on him, that really rules him out to be a bad person. The actors I hate, Alec Baldwin. Let's see here. Yeah.
That was just on hand.
Yeah,
Actors I hate. Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
Just immediate.
Piece of garbage, Alec Baldwin. Let's see. My dog is barking. I hope you guys don't hear that. Alec Baldwin. Who's Batman. Who played? I can't even think of his stupid name. Christian Bale.
Oh, Christian Bale. I don't like Christian Bale.
Piece of garbage, man. You hear him cussing out that dude. Well, how was it? Just God Almighty, man. How entitled can you be? The way it is with me.
Drink break.
Treat me with respect, and you'll get respect back.
All right.
Talk to me like an asshole. You're gonna get talked to like an asshole, and probably hit. And I'm not trying to put on the whole big talking country guy mumbo jumbo thing. That's just how life is, buddy.
Simple respect.
He's too used to that Hollywood, fame getting to that head, and knock it out a little bit. He'd probably whoop my ass, because I bet he benches 300 pounds. Because some bitch played Batman, for Christ's sake. But wouldn't stop me from, defending myself.
But those were. I don't like him, but those were like grade A cinematic
oh, for
masterpieces. That
sure.
trilogy.
Well,
That was insane.
there was a time I really didn't like him. I mean, Heath Ledger's Joker is just an icon at this point.
Heath
Incredible.
Ledger is an icon, man. I love Heath Ledger.
What
Loved.
what else did he play in? Because I don't remember him from anything else besides Batman. Honestly, I know that's
Played
terrible.
in Brokeback Mountain with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I never watched that.
They're gay. I'm just like, that's just like a detail. Maybe you like, oh yeah, it's just like that's just an extra detail. Maybe you would.
Well,
That's
no,
why I said that.
I've never seen that, but
10 Things I Hate About You.
never seen
It's a
that either.
fantastic movie. It's like a early 2000s teen ruled,
Oh, person
teenage
being
problem.
a wallflower.
Oh my god.
Dude, talk about a fantastic movie. Like, it doesn't
That's
get
a great
much
movie.
better. I don't remember much of it because I watched it in Mr. Kinzel's class. Daggone. Kinzel, if you're watching this when we're famous, dude, man, you're such a D-bag. I'm sorry, but, like, he was our film teacher. He's a mean guy. Not really mean, just... No, it wasn't mean. It was just, sometimes, sarcasm.
Yeah, but
Every damn sentence he spoke that came out of his mouth was just sarcastic and...
but here's the thing. You cannot and will not be sarcastic with him.
No,
That's
no,
what kills me.
no.
That's the part I hate most about it.
If you do,
When
you
you
are...
have such a sense of humor,
Mhm.
but yet you cannot like give a rebuttal. You better not do that.
He needs to get
He
out of my
doesn't like
face.
that.
That's a topic. That's the next topic by George. Is good and bad teachers because, ooh, buddy. Yeah, but Kenzel, we got a few words for you, buddy. You're supposed to be an inspiration, not an asshole. But anyway, what the hell was it? Christian Bale, actors,
Movies and actors.
Christian Bale, Alec Baldwin. There's probably more that I hate, but Alec Baldwin, I hate him because you ever see those like celebrity freak out videos? And Tobey Maguire, I love him. I love him, but he cussed people out one time. It was for
Was
a
it
good
when
reason.
the paparazzi were blocking the road?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
He
I mean, I don't really
swung his door open and like hit somebody, I think, but like,
get out of the way. You're blocking the road.
yeah, there's a good way and a bad way to handle things.
See the road.
He should have just like web swung over all of them, could you imagine if he did? He just got out and was like, man, fuck this.
See you, chump.
What the hell?
Trash, bro.
Put some dirt in your eye. Such a quotable movie. And I will shit on anybody, not literally, but on your opinion, if you
Okay.
say that Spider-Man 3 was a bad movie.
Spider-Man 3 is a bad movie.
I'll get to you in a minute. We got so
Okay.
many more topics I'm probably going to forget about. But anyway, bad teachers, just everything. All right, no, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Movies and actors. Ouch.
Yeah,
Right.
I wanted to go into celebrity freakouts because I was talking about Toby's, which was kind of justifiable, kind of not. You didn't really have to be an asshole because actually, Andrew Garfield, I seen something of him in the same situation. People blocking the road from his car, he can't move, and stuff, but he has a driver. He handles it in a completely different situation. You can tell he's aggravated, pissed off, doesn't say anything. Gets out of the car and like walks over here so everybody will move while the guy pulls the car up so they can get out. And he has to do that like 3 times because people keep swarming the car,
A magnet.
But that is the way to handle things,
Mm-hmm.
You're a celebrity. People look up to you. People idolize you. And this goes back into the PewDiePie topic from last video. You are an idol. These people look up to you for inspiration, look to you for, guidance and everything. And the last thing you need to do is be an asshole or give a negative impression.
Right.
Unless it's completely justified. But, I don't think PewDiePie's situation was justified in the slightest. And Toby's was, but, don't be an asshole is the basic thing. And that's the lesson Andrew taught, with his with his example of getting mad at paparazzi. But Alec Baldwin, you see his, and he's just an entitled son of a bitch, like all the way through, man. Like just such a prick. Like I go to this specific one where guy's really not even in his way, like taking a picture of him. And he goes, "You need to move. I'm walking through here." And he goes, "I'm trying, man." He looks at him. He goes, "Yeah, try harder." Like, just dude, like, oh my god. Like, I just don't understand how you sleep at night treating another human being like that. Like, how hard is it to just be nice? Like, because in my opinion,
sleep on a $8,000 mattress.
oh yeah,
That's what
exactly.
they sleep on.
You know, when we sleep on $8,000 mattresses, Tanner, like we better never be like that. I know I won't. I can't say the same thing for you because you're mean to me all the time. But
Yeah, we'll try not to be like that.
yeah, sorry if we are.
Yeah,
guys.
try harder.
We apologize right now for if we are like that in the future. But I'm not saying we're gonna sleep on $8,000 mattresses. That sounds a little stupid to me. But whatever floats
Only
your
if they're
boat,
on
Tanner.
sale.
Whatever. That was my bad. Whatever you like. No, but favorite actors. I'd have to say I have a list. Hang on.
You have a list?
You go into yours. Yeah.
I
Christian
don't really.
Haydenson.
Christian Haydenson. Okay, yeah.
That's his new name because you.
I don't have like an official list, but I have some that obviously come to mind. Heath Ledger, obviously, since I was speaking so highly of him. Hayden Christensen, I've always loved him. Let's see. I don't know. Heath Ledger is such like a. I don't know what it is about him, but he just has such a sense of
Johnny
iconicness. I know that's probably really cultic, but I've just always loved him.
Johnny
Just
Depp
about
and
everything
Leonardo
he's played in.
DiCaprio have that same thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, just generational. Like,
Dude.
when you see them, you know who they are.
When I was putting Leonardo's name on my list because I didn't have him on there, and I typed in Leonardo DiCaprio by accident. When you talk about dedication to a role, you don't look much farther than Leonardo DiCaprio, man. And that all got explained to me when you ever watch Django Unchained, which is a Tarantino movie. This guy, like literally, he's playing a very like evil slave owner. And there's this one scene where he gets upset and is like starts screaming at somebody, and he absolutely slams his hand down on a table as hard as he possibly can. And he didn't mean to. This was actually an accident, but on a glass, like little shot glass, and it shatters and cuts his hand wide open. And he keeps going, doesn't say anything. He rolls with it, man, like acting crazy. Just, I don't know how they didn't drop down, give that sumbitch an Oscar right there. Like, honestly, like, it shouldn't have took him as long as The Revenant to get it, which,
Right.
it was deserved 1,000 times, even for like way back when in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I showed you that movie, didn't I, with Depp and DiCaprio?
Yeah.
His performance there, like, how do you go from playing a mentally ill boy to what he played in The Revenant and what he played in Django?
A mentally ill slave owner.
Like, just like how do you that's so genius, man. And like, I heard he's a really sweet guy too, but I don't know about Brad Pitt. I don't know why I went to him, but he played in a movie with DiCaprio, another Tarantino movie. His last one, actually, or one of his last ones. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That was a great one. It's a little slow pace, slower than a lot of other Tarantino movies. But we watched Kill Bill, didn't we?
Yes.
Cinematic masterpiece. We'll go into that in a second. But back to it. I didn't even get to my list here. Yeah, but DiCaprio, like, I've never heard
Tim
of
Allen?
anybody. Tim Allen?
I've always loved how he seems like a very simple man.
Yeah.
He comes in, he perfects a role, he leaves. Kind of like Adam Sandler.
I agree.
But Adam Sandler more so. He comes in, he perfects a role, he leaves. Like, he's such a simple man.
The thing about Adam Sandler, though, and I think it's why a lot of people don't like him, is he's pretty much the same character in every damn movie he's in.
Right.
But
I understand that, too.
It works, and it's just brilliant, and and he can pull it off so well. He's a completely different person, even though he's playing the same person, essentially. he sells it so well, and that's experience for you right there. And you see, with Sandler, it's experience in my opinion, and with DiCaprio, it's dedication to the role. Because I mean, man, I had to get a sip for that one. By God, that was the end of my Beppis. But yeah, I love it, and I love them both. They're great actors. Adam was actually on my list right there. I got some more. Willem Dafoe. I already said I love him. Just that's because I grew up. He was the super villain of my childhood because I was born in 2000, so I grew right up with Toby's Spider-Man. Right there, immediately love him. Jack Black. I have to love him. He's in a rock band, that I really love the music, and Tenacious D. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's actually a lot of people that don't know about that, and I didn't know about it till a few years ago. Actually, I just learned about it, but that's been around. He was in a band before he was an actor, so. And I think I love Jack Black so much is because I haven't seen him. He's in a lot of live action stuff, of course, but. I don't think that's why I love him. I think I love him just because of Kung Fu Panda, honestly, because I adore those movies. And I don't know if it's just like the Chinese like culture of that, or like because I love the just like Japanese, Chinese, all that stuff, like culture and just like the architecture and style of that. Because one of my top 10 games immediately is Ghost of Tsushima. When I played that, it just immediately went right at the top of the list. Like, oh my God. There couldn't be a more perfect game. Honestly, honestly, it's like the whole reason I bought my PlayStation 5 when I did was just to play that game and Spider-Man. And, I'm so glad I did because, those games were just such an experience. And I just regret watching videos on them before I got to play them myself and experience this firsthand. I did that with Spider-Man. I did that with Ghost of Tsushima. Luckily, with Ghost of Tsushima, I didn't watch all the way to the end of it before I played it, so I still got to experience the ending and everything, and the new DLC they just came out with, which I'm happy with. But give me some.
Personally.
Yeah, go.
What?
I was gonna say, give me some of your like other favorite actors, but.
Well, I was just gonna say real quick. Personally, through my experiences and time with you, I would say Jack Black is your favorite actor. How true does that hold?
I mean,
is there any light to that?
There's some examples that I'm thinking that I can't think of right now to justify my love for him, but I know it's there somewhere. And like I said, most of that stems from Kung Fu Panda.
Mm-hmm.
And just because of the performance he gives there, and just he's an incredibly talented singer, but he doesn't take himself seriously when he sings. And I think everybody says that about him. Which, more power to you. He's a comedy guy. That's his thing. And but sometimes you do see those comedy guys, step out of the comedy role, like Will Ferrell, for example, Jim Carrey. Mm-hmm. They stepped out of it in Yes Man and Stranger Than Fiction.
Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine. Like it's
gosh.
And when they do, it's just such a beautiful moment. It's incredible. Oh wait. The Truman Show. That's another one Jim did. Did you ever watch that?
I've never seen it.
It's great. It's wonderful. It's another one of those things. It's kind of mixed with comedy a little bit, but when you can just jump from this to that, and I've never seen Jack Black in a very serious role, and I'm sure he has had serious roles. I've never seen those movies.
I'm also really glad and happy for him that Jim Carrey seems like a very happy and content man, because oh boy does he play a very sad and lonely and empty person.
Yes.
In that role in Eternal Sunshine, like, he breaks my heart.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's sad.
It's just when an actor can do that, go from comedy his entire life, like he just done like The Mask, everything, like the Grinch, like everything, straight comedy roles, goes from that to that. Like, how much of a change is? And if you want to talk about change for a role, dude, Joaquin Phoenix, like, oh my God, he's a completely different person from Walk the Line to Joker. Like, It's so hard to watch Walk the Line and then watch Joker and think that is the same damn person. And then
Yeah.
we watched that.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Yeah,
That
that's a
is
fantastic
three
movie.
different, and I just don't understand, man. Like I've never like acted. We acted in the Christmas special, and maybe like little moments here and there, and like our little special we did, and everything. And I was proud of myself for that. But like, man, just to make that much of a change and just totally unrecognizable. You would think he's a completely different person if you watch Joker before you watch Walk the Line, or if you watched Her before you watched Walk the Line, or something like that. He's a completely different person in your mind, and I think that's that's amazing right there. When people can do that, they can sell it that good. But that's the standard for movies these days because there's no capacity to be anything less than perfect, because it's not going to be a believable story if you're anything less than perfect, which
Right.
makes me appreciate the hell out of them 1,000 times more. Um,
If you want to watch a film that perfectly encapsulates separation and loneliness in the age of rising technology, just constantly all the time, watch Her. Joaquin Phoenix, Amy Adams.
it gets
It's
me,
10 out of
man.
10 movie.
Scarlett Johansson,
10 out of
she's
10.
in that too.
Yeah.
She's her, whatever her name is. I forgot. I ain't seen it in a long time.
Mhm.
A lot of that movie really freaks me out because that's how it's gonna be, before long. And I think, but I don't think it's gonna be like that crazy and be all that right there. But it's gonna be awesome. I actually had a crazy theory because you know how at the end of Her they all kind of just leave.
Mhm.
What if they formed Skynet? Have you ever seen Terminator?
No, I've never seen
Well,
Terminator.
Terminator is one of those movies with the instances like The Matrix where AI gets so advanced that it becomes self-thinking and takes over the world. That's
Yeah.
what happens in Terminator. But in Terminator, it all starts with Skynet. Skynet nukes the entire Earth because it's pretty much a thing for their self-defense network, for America's self-defense network, and they launch all the nukes at once, which makes like Russia retaliate, blows up the entire Earth, pretty much, just kills
Yeah.
almost everybody. And there's a small resistance of humans left. It's like I actually had an interesting theory. Like, what if when she leaves, they're Skynet's going on right now, so they're going to join up with it. Like over here, like that'd be a crazy
Yeah.
theory. But I think with the Matrix, goodness gracious, that movie really freaks me out because you think. What do you think of the whole like we're living in a simulation theory? I think it's craziness, honestly. Cause like
I
how
think there will always be something to there will always be something to believe in. And inside of that there will always be two sides. There will be like support for that belief, and there will be cons. I guess pros and cons is what you can call it.
That's
And
everything.
there, pros do not exist without cons. Cons do not exist without pros.
Exactly.
And so when you come to like saying, are we living in a simulation? I kind of see it as there could be 100 reasons pointing towards we are, but there are probably just as many pointing towards we're not. And what I'm pretty much saying is there is no like definite truth.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people, like if you're a very religious person, you believe there is a definite truth. Whatever you believe in, whatever your religion is, that is your truth.
And
It's hard for me to believe there
I
is.
hate it that people can't really accept that, or they stick to their belief so hard that they completely shut down somebody else's, and
Right.
boom, that person's now an enemy. And that's a horrible way to be. I hate that the world is like that. But honestly, that's how it's gonna be forever, unfortunately. But I just hate how that's people's first instinct. Hey, they don't believe in the same thing I do, or their opinion differs from mine. I can't like them.
Mhm.
They're doing something different than me. I can't like them, and that's really terrible that the world is that way. But
That's how it is.
the simulation thing, like as you said, you believe what you want to believe, but like I think that eventually, like virtual reality, because it's already crazy right now, it can get to that point. Like neurologically putting that in your brain. If neurologically is the word used there, I don't think it is. I'm no neurologist, but I think that virtual reality can get there one day and can become so advanced. But a self-thinking AI, that kind of, how would that work? Like when you really
Wasn't there
think
a
about it, clever
wasn't there
bot.
an AI a cover
Oh,
or a while back that started like creating its own language and speaking to other AI in its own language, so they had like hard shut it down
I,
a
I
couple years ago.
hope not. That's
I think so.
terrible.
I think so. I'll have to look it up. Like I said, don't take everything I say with a grain of salt because it could be completely wrong. But I think I heard
It's
that.
just, how could you do that though? Like you take your own limit on your human knowledge, because everybody's brain has a limit to what they can learn. Everybody expertise is in one specific thing because you can't learn it all. And that's the thing. When we've reached the limits of our capacity to think, putting it into this machine that can think for itself. And this is a machine. It doesn't have limits like that. It can store information, like physically store information and remember this.
Mhm.
So I just don't understand how we can take our very limited knowledge, put it into this machine that can then gain unlimited knowledge. I mean, that's what a computer is. Now, let's be honest here. We're taking our knowledge. When you think about the internet and computers, we take our knowledge, put it into this damn computer, and it stores it there for the whole world to see, for you to see, for it's got the capacity to remember. But I just don't
Yeah.
understand how we have put that into a machine when, like, when our physical limiter is incapable of doing that. When we get limited on thinking, we put it in a computer, and boom, it's there for us to remember, go back to, think about, learn it again if we have to. The computer already knows everything there is to know because it has access to the internet. So I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, well, I guess I've kind of contradicted myself because as I started talking about it, it started to make more sense on how there could be a self-thinking AI.
No, I mean things got to evolve.
Yeah, but like, don't
There's
we
constant evolution.
don't we have to like program it to think too? So isn't there?
I guess.
I don't know, man. That's so weird.
I guess when humans got to the point where um, building was no longer, you know, bare hands and being strong was you couldn't do that. I mean, you gotta evolve. People didn't grab some metal and some glass and build New York City. You have to
Tesla
make
bot.
things that help evolve,
Oh yeah, for
you know,
sure,
machinery, weaponry,
for sure.
everything.
That's how the
Everything has
world
just
goes
grown
around.
and evolved. And I think that has just gotten to the point where we're AI and you can only evolve so much to where you begin having, a lot more power than maybe they originally intended.
That is very scary to think about. You know, because then
Yeah,
it
it
goes
is.
into it. If there is a self-thinking robot or AI or something, can it feel human emotion or like compassion or sympathy or anything like that? Because this is a cold-hearted machine you're thinking of here. The
Right.
Matrix dives into that because Neo meets a character. I'm not really like very well equipped on my knowledge with that, but based on what I think or on what I seen, um, Neo is talking to these programs within the Matrix, which have taken on human form because they're in the Matrix, and they're waiting on the train man or whatever his name is to take them into the land of the real world, out of the Matrix. But they're these programs. They can't do that. They're just things implemented into the Matrix. But
Right.
I forgot how it works. I think it was talking about how like the train man is a guy who goes into the Matrix, gets these programs, brings them, and like pretty much takes them out on like a USB hard drive and puts them into the real world, outside of the Matrix. But the program is talking to Neo, and he's telling him a program cannot exist, or it can. A program has to be born with a purpose. If it's not, it gets deleted. But this program has somehow managed to have a daughter with another program, and he tells Neo he loves his daughter very much. She's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. And I just I don't know. I think it goes into it more, but I haven't seen that movie in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes into it more, and I think like how he can understand like what love and compassion is. But that is crazy to me, because you really got to think about that. Because if robots did eventually like take over and stuff, could you like sympathize with them, or like, or would they just have complete like no remorse or no mercy or anything? I don't know. It's a weird topic.
Do you ever think about what makes us different? Like, what is a soul? What is a conscience? Why am I different than you?
I think it's weird.
Why do why do I like watermelon and why does my neighbor not?
I think it's strange how we can sit here and have a conversation like that, about what comes after life. Because I do believe in an afterlife. I'm religious, as many of you may know. I mean, I've wore a cross on my neck in every video, until it fell off a few months ago. But I believe in an afterlife, and I want to give you this image in your head right now. I want you to think about not existing. Like, really, just like how? How do you not exist? There's something in here, enabling me to think this way. And a lot of you are saying your biological brain that you developed, but like, yeah, but like, why can't Tink back there, have this same conversation or think these same thoughts of, where they're going to end up in the afterlife? And I believe dogs have souls. I just believe they're different than ours. But really just sit and think about it. It's amazing, because I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere scientists physically can't explain what human consciousness is, or just consciousness in general. And they pretty much chalked it up to just being on a different dimensional plane or something. Which, I mean, you can say that all you want to, but like, just sit there and imagine not existing. How do you do it? How are you just not there?
Personally, I can't comprehend
Exactly.
anything past myself, and if I try, it scares me. Well, not wait, let me rephrase that. Not anything past myself. That sounded like selfish, and I meant like anything past what we know to exist.
And that's amazing. You think about the scale of the universe, how it's so infinitely large, and
Right.
the
You
fact
can't comprehend it.
exactly, you can't comprehend how infinitely large it is. Let me tell you this little factoid I heard. I probably told you this 1,000 times, but I just love to talk about it. There are billions upon billions of galaxies in our observable universe. That's what we can see with modern technology, the observable universe. How far out we can see. So it's untelling what's beyond that, whether it's more galaxies, if it just ends, we don't know, because we can't see past what we can observe. And in those billions of galaxies, there are billions and billions and billions of stars in each one. So that means just in our observable universe, what we can see is there are more stars in that visible universe than there are grains of sand on this planet Earth. That's amazing. Because you think about it, you go out into the yard and you take a 5-gallon bucket and fill it up with sand, you spend your entire life counting every grain, and you'll never count it all. It's just a tiny grain of sand. That's just one bucket full.
Here was something I was thinking about a while back. If you, not to get like too religious on you, so
Now praise be ye the Savior.
repent. No, if you believe in the Christian faith, Holy Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament, how can you possibly uphold the theory that there is different life to our standards in this universe? Because the Holy Bible is supposed to be the one truth for any living thing, like I said, to our standards, to our standard of consciousness. It is supposed to be the one truth, and all of us are supposed to have the same ability to hear, believe, and get to heaven. The Bible is full of stories written on this planet. How does that happen anywhere else?
See, I think other planets could have Bibles. I mean, worship the same God as us. We just don't tell them about them or something. Like I said, I'm a Christian, but I've never really sat through and read the whole Bible. I know it's probably terrible to say. If I'm sitting here, preaching, I'm a Christian, and all that stuff. I've never read the Bible, but like,
I mean, you're not preaching at people.
It's just, it's hard to get into, but, I believe heaven and hell is real, but I believe God sends certain people to hell forever, like child molesters and rapists and just horrible people. But, and I don't feel like, because a lot of the excuse, or a lot of the things people say is, you can just be on your deathbed and a second before you die say, "Oh, God, please forgive me," and you're just forgiven for everything, and that's what it says that you can do. But I don't believe that's how it works. We talked to Aaron about this, and we had the same opinion. Be a good person, spread good vibes, just be good in general. Believe what you want to believe, just be a happy person. And it says to worship God and everything, but I feel like He's understanding enough to look past it if you don't believe in Him. Just in my personal opinion, that if you still don't believe in Him or anything like that, but you're just a good person in general, which that happens all the time. It's what somebody believes in doesn't dictate what kind of person they are. But I think as long as you just do the right thing in life, you're gonna be fine in the afterlife. Just be a good person, do good things, spread good vibes. Just
Right, like we should not, like the Bible, or let me not go at a specific group. Religion is way, way, way too complex of a thing for a human race in which 80% of it cannot say please and thank you.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that's
like, we need to be teaching ourselves basic respect.
Oh, totally.
Before
love for
anything else, and we can't even do that.
Love for one another, and that's the problem. But I was laughing just a second ago, and I wanted to point out that just 10 minutes ago we were talking about Spiderman.
So Brokeback Mountain.
Okay, no. So enough with the religion. I don't know where all that came from. We left on a pretty big cliffhanger last podcast.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We haven't talked about that.
Bigfoot.
We've been going like an hour and 10 minutes.
Last 10 minutes, Bigfoot. What do you think,
Last
man? What do you think?
Oh man, I'm sorry. There will be silences because
do you want me to go first?
I have to I process what I'm gonna say.
That's good.
Like I'm not just like
not
a
a lot of
speak first
people. Not a
person.
lot of people do that. That's
People
the
find
problem.
it really weird when people like ask me questions. I work at Walmart. They'll ask me questions. I'll just sit there and like I'll like think of my answer, and they're like,
Excuse
"What is
me.
happening?" Yeah, yeah. I'll think of my answer before
You
I
want me to
say.
go first?
You can start. You can start.
You know, they say Canada. This probably isn't the exact percentage. It's like 75% forest and like just like
Okay.
woods. Um, anything can be up there. We don't really
Mhm.
know. I mean, but I feel like these stupid Bigfoot shows and everything, and like those Bigfoot hollering conventions and stuff. That's if he was real, he'd be long away from that shit. Like it wouldn't be anywhere
Yeah.
near that. But I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was little, me and my cousin Clay, we would go what we called squatch hunting. Now
Oh,
let me
okay.
explain
Okay.
what squatch hunting was. We got BB guns, baseball bats, hatchets, machetes, anything. 10-year-old boys, anything we could find up in Dad's barn, because we were gonna go kill us a squatch, by George. And we would literally go out in the middle of the night, walk the wood line, walk into the woods, sit on our porch and listen for Bigfoot calls and just everything, just hoping to find a squatch, and that brings back such sweet memories because we did that like literally every time we come over, and
Yeah.
we was like, "Hey man, you want to go squatch hunting?" Every time it's like, "Hell yeah, I want to go squatch hunting." And I'm not very much of a hunter, a deer hunter. Or just a hunter in general. I've been hunting, never killed anything. It's not that I feel bad about it or anything. I believe that as long as you, put it to, I'm gonna get shit for that. I already know it. As long as you put, what you kill to good use and eat it, and use it what it was put on the planet and intended for. It's I think if you just kill something and take its head and put it on your wall, that's murder. That's
Right.
terrible.
Yeah.
You
I
don't
don't
just
like
do that.
game hunting.
No, that's ridiculous. That shouldn't be a
It's just
sport.
wasteful.
It really is, and it's not like we're gonna run out of deer or anything. But I mean, that's just wrong. Like you don't just because I mean, isn't that like just that's killing for fun? Like that's not a good thing to be into. Kill if you're hungry. Sure, I mean we've been doing that for centuries. If you believe in that, but squatch hunting, I don't think we ever planned on like killing the shit out of Bigfoot if we ever found him. I think it was just to defend ourselves in case Bigfoot was an asshole. I think that was the
Right.
mindset we had. I mean, I'm sure
What if,
we wasn't gonna walk into the woods and be like, "What's up, Bigfoot?" And he'd be like, "What's up, guys?" Like West Side, like he's just, but it'd be South Side then.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd probably gang sign. Sorry. Um,
Okay.
we had a good time, but anyway, hang on. I'm gonna finish my point here.
Okay.
Anything can be out there. I mean, we haven't explored 75% of our ocean or 90%. The Earth is 90% ocean, and we don't know what it's like down there or anything. But we know how a star is going to blow up in a few million years, which is another
Yeah.
thing that I don't believe in at all. But I'm not saying Bigfoot's underwater or anything. I'm just saying there is stuff on this planet that we don't know about.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, you don't know, like, what the hell's down there? Lost City Atlantis could be down that
No,
bitch.
I don't want to. I don't want to talk about that.
Yes.
I hate the ocean.
Imagine just going out there and like you're kidnapped. Somebody ties cinder blocks onto your feet, middle of the ocean, and you just whoosh, straight down until you just die and you're still sinking.
Your head would buzz from the pressure.
Yeah, it would, but like I mean, you're just your soul is floating away from your body, and you're just watching it go just into the darkness, just straight down, and it probably won't hit the bottom for God knows how long. That is crazy to think about. And it's like, why does our planet have all the damn water? Like, why didn't we give some to, like Mars or anything? Like, we got too much. But
Okay.
yeah.
So-
go ahead.
I'm gonna be boring. I'm going to be boring.
Do it.
But this is genuinely what I believe in.
You usually are. Just kidding.
Yeah. This is genuinely what I believe in. If Sasquatch existed, if Bigfoot existed, we could have found him by now. I think there's been plenty of time we could have found him by now.
I agree to that to some extent, but like when you think about it like this is there's been so many hoaxes and fakes, something real could have popped up, but like well there's so many fakes and hoaxes, like how does one really know what could have been real, what could have not been real? And it's the same thing with like ghosts and everything. It's like I believe in ghosts of some kind. I mean, I was at my mom's house one time and a Coca-Cola can goes just sliding by itself right across her table for like no reason. We were all just sitting there talking. There was like no condensation under it. It was on no slope on a flat tabletop. This Coke can is like, okay, I'm gonna go over here, and it did. We all watched it just go for no reason, and no scientific thing I can think of to think about that. Why am I looking at L?
I was just gonna say, if Bigfoot existed, Ryazaki could find him.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I've never watched Death Note. You should watch Attack on Titan. Which
Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, and Inosuke. I love Inosuke.
That's a topic for next time. We've been going for a while, but we're gonna finish with this. I do agree that we would have found him by now, but like I was saying, there's just so much footage out there and so much you don't know what to believe. Somebody genuinely could have seen him. Even somebody on these, like Bigfoot shows, those stupid things, like they could have genuinely seen him on there.
All right.
But you don't know what to believe because there's so many hoaxes, so much stupid crap, and then just and I
agree.
Also, aliens, like apparently the Pentagon actually like released footage of actual UFO. That barely made news just because of so much crazy shit happening, like just in the world in general.
They acknowledged UFOs.
Yeah, that it actually happened and released actual footage. But again, that's a topic for next time, I guess. Did you have any final things to add?
Yeah. I was gonna give my podcast ending fun fact.
Oh, I forgot.
Are you ready?
About that. Yeah.
You ready? Okay. Here we go. I have it pulled up this time.
Thank goodness.
Okay. Fun fact number 2: the heads on Easter Island have bodies.
Are they buried?
They have measured them. They've measured them to be around 33 feet.
Wait, didn't those
buried underground?
Look up. Haven't they moved before though?
Moved?
Yeah, like just by themselves. There's some like structure that is moved by itself. Something like that is just like literally.
I don't know, but it's scary.
Somebody's seen it in one position and then come and seen it again, and it'll be in the new position. I don't think it happens every time. I think it happened over.
Like my lock screen.
Years. Who is that?
Tomioka.
Who's Tomioka?
Demon Slayer.
Well, I'm not that far into it yet, but we'll talk about anime.
Hey, you see him in the first
episode. Really?
Yeah. He's running. He tackles Nezuko off of Tanjiro.
Yeah. And Tanjiro is like, got my sister,
so
bitch.
epic.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But anime, save that for episode 3, Tanner. Okay. Calm down.
All right.
Fucking weeb. I'm just kidding. That was the first F word probably of this. But anyway,
you said excuse my language earlier. I don't remember why, but
I don't know. I think I was talking about.
Oh wait, Alec Baldwin.
Bale, yes.
Or Christian Bale, yeah.
Okay. Well, we hope you enjoyed hearing our voices for an hour and however friggin' long this has been going. I hope I've been recording this whole time. It would suck if I haven't, man.
Please don't say that.
Oh yeah, and our last Doki video, like literally like the most juicy things were happening, and boop, accidentally unplugged my microphone and there went all the footage, and we kept going because I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought it would keep going, but fortunately it didn't. But
335 subscribers.
Really? I know one of those was our channel that we made.
Us, but yeah, we got another one.
Thank you. I want to thank you guys. I don't know about Tanner. He's an ungrateful bastard, but like, No, I'm just kidding. We want to
Yeah.
thank you guys, getting us this far. It's been such a pleasure to make this content for you guys, and for those of you who are enjoying it and listening to us and watching us and laughing with us and just having a good time. Really, we thank you. It's been an amazing journey since December 3rd that we started this channel, and honestly, it's helped me in my personal life so much. I can't thank you guys enough. Really for letting us make it this far, and I hope that we'll continue to make it further. It's just you guys continued support on TikTok, Instagram, even here on YouTube. It never ends. You guys are just the best, and we love you. Thank you for watching episode 2 of the podcast, Coby&Tanner podcast. Did you have fun, Tanner?
I did. If you're watching this on this should have been at the beginning. But if you've made it this far, if you're watching this on the main channel, go subscribe to the podcast channel.
Yep, that's where the podcast will be, also on this channel. So whatever you want.
I love you.
We love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Hopefully it'll be up soon if I could fucking get to editing, which I'm just a lazy piece of shit, so I don't do it. Bye.